This is Game 3, DivideByZero versus Demosthenes. And AMZN is up 2-0. And it's TVZ on Polar Night. Fortunately, Demosthenes is a very different style of play to Gardner. You see some quite different games. Of course, maybe DivideByZero. It's also quite tricky. Spawning up top on Polar Night, the orange Zerg for Team AMZN. It is DivideByZero. And then in the bottom spawn, blue Terran for Team Blackberry. It is Demosthenes. And Demosthenes faster on the manor. That's a good point. For those who don't know about the background of Blackberry, it is headquartered in Waterloo, Canada, which is apparently a vampire hangout and a real place. Yeah. And we have some Toronto fans in the audience, so anyone who likes Canada, make sure to cheer for Team Blackberry. Anyone cheering for Team AMZN are now known as Canada haters. But that's okay, Canada's a pretty cool place, they're okay with that sort of thing. Yes, note that the AMZN, headquartered in Seattle, has a lot of their players in Seattle where it apparently rains 300 days a year. Very few people who live in Seattle appear to like it. It's quite sad. And DivideByZero, he's getting the scout. He's seeing this somewhat unusual wall placement that might indicate a fast expand. And already the SCV blocking the hatchery. Not a full engineering bay block, but it is causing some drone pulls. Being very annoying here. Nice SCV control by Demosthenes. This could go on for a while. And all this time, DivideByZero had started his pool. So not too much happening. Demosthenes going for fast factory. Interesting. Long pool still going up. Another thing to note about the companies is that the AHGL is a for-charity league. Means that both teams have picked a charity to donate their winnings to if they get that far in the tournament. Both teams, in this case, both AMZN and Blackberry, have chosen Child's Play, a charity for providing entertainment to children stuck in hospitals. Which, as I can tell you from my experience when I was a kid, is an extremely boring place. Alas, there were no computer games when I was a kid, but fortunately I had large stacks of comic books brought in. And for children who did not possess such stacks of comic books, I was sad. But now there is a charity to help such poor children. DivideByZero. Fairly basic opening. Hellions coming out from Demosthenes early on, going straight out. There's nothing but Zerg needs to defend this, so has a chance. Roach Warren going up, but that's going to be too late to stop the initial two Hellions. Now the location of the AMZN building in Toronto has been revealed for all you AMZN fans. You can go mob them. I'm sure they love that. Trust the Zerg to bring up eating. Eating is good. Here come the first set of Hellions. That Queen. Not sure. I think it's going to try and inject it. No, it's just falling back, expecting to have to sack the oh, one Queen can block Hellions. I did not know that. Very good job by DivideByZero. That's going to save most of his drones from this initial Hellion. And that saves that. So I think that was like 2 drones killed. 2 Hellions, and now the Roaches are coming out. Demosthenes didn't even get a great scout off, but he will see the Roaches coming. And there's not really anything else in the base for him to scout, just knowing that it was only Roaches would be nice. And that might mean a little less Hellion pressure, but apparently not. Seeing the Roaches, the Hellions keep coming. Should switch to Mines as soon as possible. Mines aren't actually that great against Roaches, but they're better than Hellions. And that Spore finished. I don't think he's anticipating Banshees or Mines. I think he just forgot to cancel it when saving the drone. Does he see the starport? He does see the starport now. Starport back here. And now he's going to deliberately make a Spore this time. And a Spine. Good scouting from DivideByZero. He should be protected from anything that's happening. Oops, missed that. Hellion's still trying to poke in. And there aren't that many Roaches. Just 3. Will the Queen get there in time? The Queen is on point. That Hellion squeezes through? What the... Maybe you can block it with 1 Queen. I don't know. And then there's 1 Hellion left. Unfortunately, those Hellions aggroing on the Queen. Not doing too much. That Hellion probably not doing much. But he sees the lack of tech. The no Spire. And so... probably knows what he's up against. He better, I'm just guessing, 1 base Roach. I mean, we haven't even gotten an expansion yet, so... There we go, DivideByZero, finally getting that lair. Starfields. I will help Catfish out. You need to actually say that expression, tomato, tomato. Otherwise, you're going to get really confused when you read tomato, tomato, and you think that they're just going for the non sequitur points. In the meantime, you have an interesting Marauder Mine defense. Evidently thought there was going to be a big Roach push. Actually, it was just a delayed lair. Not seeing anything from Roaches yet, but the range upgrade means that it will probably be Roach Hydra coming out. And Mines and Tanks will be able to hold that. Is he going for tanks? Yep. Banshee, getting map control, given all the spores and how DivideByZero was expecting it, this is probably the best use of Banshee. You can just snipe individual Roaches and instill some fear in DivideByZero. No, he's gonna go in there. Not sure that's worth it. Hydroid thing going up and the Spore already there, but the Spore not in the perfect place and the Queen's out the front might be able to snipe a couple of drones. Getting some use there. Causing another Spore to be built, and considering that this is the only Banshee, every Spore is kind of a waste. Now it might also defend against drops, but I happen to know that Demosthenes is not a big drop player. We're probably not going to see much drops coming here, no matter how much DivideByZero protects against it. And there we go. Tanks, limited bio, Hearing Bay. Demosthenes is ready for Roaches. Let's see. Siege tank. Warcraft 2 boats. Not sure what would help, considering that every map on StarCraft seems to be atop a giant pinnacle of a mountain. Shashvi evidently hasn't played Lost Viking, where you face that Voltron-style enemy, although it's from buildings, the Terratron. DivideByZero finally getting his 3rd base. Seems quite delayed. He's had a very defensive game so far. And normally that would allow Demosthenes to get quite ahead, but his work production hasn't been that great. Good scout from DivideByZero. He sees sort of what he's up against, which is what looks like a composition that can hold Roach Hydra. And let's see now. Moving out. Be nice to see him do something about that third, but I don't think he's scouted just yet. He probably can take that army, though. That is not a scary army from DivideByZero. He's just slowly droning and spreading creep. And if Demosthenes went up, which he's not, he's just going to scout a bit first. Not do the best scout there. That is not top 3 scouts. Marauder gets that, and then the army comes up, revealing his army. I don't know. Might embolden Demosthenes. He can take that. Just getting in some more lings. A bit of an odd composition here. There's a window of time for Demosthenes to push him to third, but he's going slow. Oh, he doesn't have his tanks. Still, not DivideByZero not engaging. We will have to see. Looks like he's going for it. Not bringing the tanks. Tanks are evidently for defense, but I can see that hatch going down. Then is the army coming? Kind of. Lings need to be controlled better. They're just way ahead of the army. We could be stutter stepping and killing off the lings. No, he's gonna run back to the tanks or something. Well, whatever makes you happy. Boom. There's some Widowmine shots. And if the tanks were here, Demosthenes could take this easily. Tanks still playing the conservative defensive role. They signed up to be defenders of the peace. They're not really that aggressive. But the army is coming to the tanks. What will happen here? That forward tank, I can see that falling, but nope, he's not engaging the rest. Picked off one tank, not too much damage. Demosthenes could take out that third. Instead, he's just getting up his own. That's fine, building up. Roach Hydra is at its weakest late game when it really needs casters to be viable. And finally, he's going to knock that down. You shouldn't sing. I should sing. But unfortunately, there's too much happening. We're even seeing a drop. And there's just no spines here. Let's see what he can do with that. And there's lings coming in, no? Getting the 4, huh? Well, we'll see. The entire army pulling back to defend this, leaving him wide open, but no, he's just going to defend his third. Demosthenes playing a little cautious. But that's okay, he's still doing fine. This tank marauder heavy composition. And interestingly enough, DivideByZero is trying to compensate by dropping the roaches for lings. And I don't know how well that's going to work. There's enough marines in there, there's enough tanks. Banelings against the marauders, and... I don't know. We're going to have to see how this one plays out. Demosthenes, not known for his pro splits, but who in the After Hour Gaming League is. And here it comes. Tanks do counter pretty much everything in that composition. Snipes a building command center and then falls back. Good. Ooh. Pretty good time to turn around from DivideByZero. Tank's not moving out with Demosthenes. He's losing another tank, but Marauder tank, not enough tanks. Until he falls back. Interesting tank spread. Has always managed to force DivideByZero to retreat. When he gets up to there, got this scattered bloodstains across the field. Still no fourth from DivideByZero. And I think Demosthenes is slowly sort of taking the attrition damage. He's not building up that mass of tanks that he needs. But DivideByZero isn't getting too much done either. And if he gets enough siege to tanks, that will alone counter. But they're not siege. Never mind. Unsieged tanks, not the wrong time to siege. Banelings taking out the tanks. And there we go. Banelings beat tanks. You saw it here. DivideByZero rolls that army, and I don't think Demosthenes will be able to bring it back. There's too few tanks, too few planetary fortresses. Will he engage the one planetary fortress that is there? Looks like. I do not recommend that. But no, he is focusing down the orbital command. Good pick off there. He's starting to get his fourth, and the planetary fortress is being ignored, so that's all the right choices. From DivideByZero, Demosthenes has one tank. Is that scaring it off? It might be. Just checking for another expansion, which you really should. They're going up everywhere. And more banelings. Oh, destroying the wall. Interesting choice. I fear that will distract his army. More banelings. DivideByZero loving his banelings against Marauder tank. And that tank's still not sieged. Banelings get into them everywhere. A lot of worker kills and maybe enough army kills? I'm not sure. There's more rolling in. Down to the last direct. I think DivideByZero has it again though. And with that economic damage on top of it, it's going to be hard for Demosthenes to hold this. I think DivideByZero has it. Hydra's just so good now, and let's be honest, they were always good. And yeah, just not able to get that tank count to go up. Demosthenes had such good upgrades though. Almost had 3-3 versus the 2-1 of DivideByZero. But no, Demosthenes is not a quitter. He's going to live off this ninja base for a while. And we'll see. We'll see. Throwing your army against a wall with siege tanks is a good way to get Terran back in the game. Or against a planetary fortress without Vipers. And we're not seeing Vipers, we're not even seeing Hive. Of course, we're also not seeing building plating upgrade, which is really what you need to survive against the Zerglings here. Especially the Zerglings without attack upgrades. Looks like Ling Hydra will clean that up. I'd love to see some Hellbats now against this all-light army. And there we go. Out that armor upgrade. Not sure what the planetary fortress is going to do here, aside from fall. And Demosthenes is down to a single base against 4. And it's engagement time, yes. He has 2 tanks. Not the best positions. Ouch. Splashing his own units. The Hydras are starting to get hit by the tanks. No, the tank for the Lings. And it's GG from Demosthenes. Amazon wraps it up 3-0 in the official games. But that's not all. Hopefully we'll be back for Game 4.